So we had the press conference today to formally announce the Klitschko versus Joshua fight, which will take place in the early part of 2017. I mentioned in a video I did following Joshua's defense against Eric Molina that when Klitschko got in the ring with Joshua after the fight and they were doing a stare down, I noticed Klitschko trying his old intimidation tactics, and it is subtle intimidation from Klitschko. He's not one of these type of guys to be mouthing off and getting physical. No, his intimidation is not like that. It's more subtle, and he tries to unnerve his opponent a lot of the time by staring at them and also by trying to control them, by telling them do this, do that. It's, little subtle things that he does that many of his opponents have actually picked up on. David Haye, Kubrat Pulev, Tyson Fury, many of his opponents have picked up on the little psychological tactics that Klitschko tries to employ to get his opponent under control before the first bell even rings. Those psychological tactics have worked against most of his opponents, but they certainly didn't work against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury could not be controlled by Wladimir Klitschko, and Klitschko knew it. And I think that's why he went to the desperate lengths that he did to, come up with all types of different shenanigans before the fight to try and throw Tyson Fury off, because he was worried about that guy. And he was right to be worried, because he was in there with somebody who wasn't impressed at all by him, wasn't intimidated, wasn't fazed, didn't care about his reputation, none of that. But here with Anthony Joshua, looking at the face-offs that he's had with Wladimir Klitschko today, to me, Anthony Joshua looks very uncomfortable in Wladimir Klitschko's presence. I'm not going to say he's scared, but he, to me, definitely looks very uncomfortable. He doesn't look anywhere near as assured as Tyson Fury did in Klitschko's presence. And when you've got a guy who's as inexperienced as Joshua, that has to be a concern. Just because a guy looks fidgety or uncomfortable at a stare down or at a press conference doesn't necessarily mean he's going to lose the fight. A big punch in the first couple of rounds can change a lot, but it's still not a good sign, as I say, when you're dealing with somebody who's this inexperienced, and particularly when you take into account the fact that Joshua, at least from my memory, Joshua's never looked uncomfortable in front of any other opponent. He's looked perfectly at ease and confident in front of the people, people like Dillian Whyte, Dominic Breazeale, Charles Martin, so on and so forth. This is the first time I've seen Joshua acting a little out of character and looking a bit edgy and nervous, as if he's starting to actually doubt himself here. Like, am I actually really ready for this? Klitschko, on the other hand, looked totally assured, confident, his usual self. He has a look of a man who believes this is going to be like taking candy from a baby. He has the look of a man who believes that his opponent is not ready for this moment. Again, what takes place in the ring, may be totally separate from what happens in the build-up. Sometimes fighters can just switch. They can be nervous before the fight, but when the opening bell goes, switch, all the nerves gone, and they're into action mode. Maybe that'll be the case with Joshua, but when you're talking about the highest level of boxing, any little advantage that you can get can sometimes be the difference between winning and losing. And this is why fighters try and get these edges, because they know they're not doing it for no reason. They're doing it to try and get an edge, because a lot of the time these little edges do make a difference. Now, when you're dealing with two extremely experienced guys, if you had Klitschko going up against somebody with similar experience and ability to himself, then there's no point in even trying to get any psychological edge, because both guys have been there and seen it and done it all before. Although with Klitschko, he can be unnerved, different from most experienced guys. He can be unnerved himself, because he's never been the most naturally confident individual, which is why he tries to unnerve his opponent so much. But with Joshua, he's not going to unnerve Klitschko. you know. And again, there are many fighters who have tried to unnerve Klitschko, but they didn't have the ability in the ring, and that's the most important thing, the ability in the ring to back it up. But with Joshua, we don't know if he's got the ability in the ring to back it up. But what we do know is that, based on what I've seen so far at least, he certainly don't have the ability to unnerve Klitschko in the lead up to the fight. Certainly not. Tyson Fury had it, and what differentiated Tyson Fury from a lot of other Klitschko opponents who tried to get under Klitschko's skin is that Tyson Fury really believes what he says. When Tyson Fury looked Klitschko in the eyes and was saying all this crazy stuff, Klitschko knew damn well that Tyson Fury wasn't acting. He knew damn well that this guy's being genuine and real. And that's what got to him. Because he was like, wow, this guy actually believes he's going to destroy me. I don't see any fear in his eyes. Klitschko is a control freak who likes, as I say, to get things under control and be commanding and dictating the way things are going before the first bell even sounds. And I remember the press conference, the infamous Batman press conference before the first, or the only Fury-Klitschko fight, because the rematch never happened. But I remember the Batman press conference, and during that press conference, Tyson Fury totally dominated it verbally. He would not let Klitschko speak. He was cracking jokes at Klitschko's expense, talking over him, talking down to him, being obnoxious, being rude. And it got to the point where Klitschko, you could see all the energy that Klitschko had going into the press conference just drained out of him. And he didn't quite know what to do or quite what to say. Tyson Fury had commanded the attention in the room and focused it on himself. And when Klitschko did eventually get his time to speak, it's like nobody cared what he was saying. And Klitschko wasn't used to being in that position. So Tyson Fury did a very good job of unsettling Klitschko and taking him out of his comfort zone psychologically before the first bell even took place, which is, again, sorry to repeat myself, that's something Wladimir Klitschko likes to do to his opponents. So, yeah, Joshua's not going to get a psychological edge before the fight. He's going to have to try and get his edge in the ring. And anybody out there who is a Joshua fan, well, you're going to have to hope that Klitschko's mind games, which he is certainly trying at the moment, don't get to Joshua. Because, as I say, inexperienced guy, what's he had now? 18 fights? Klitschko's had nearly 70 fights. The level of opposition they faced is vastly different. Klitschko's obviously faced way more superior, way superior fighters than the guys Joshua's faced. So, yeah, we'll see. But that's my assessment of it, people. I know my thoughts were a little sporadic there and all over the place, so I hope you stayed with me. It wasn't the most concise video I've made, but yeah, I feel like right now, Wladimir is looking very confident and comfortable, and Joshua, to me, is looking uncomfortable. And that's unusual. I've never seen him look uncomfortable like this before. So, we'll see. Maybe that fear that Joshua may have will motivate him to be the best Anthony Joshua possible. Maybe it will take him to the next level and actually improve his performance against Klitschko. The fact that he has that fear factor. It remains to be seen. Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.